I was listening to John, and he was talking about the Ferretta hearing and how the judge mentioned that he knew the prosecutor very well. That's something that's an absolute no-no. And the reason I believe he was doing that is he wanted to suck John into the jurisdiction of the court by trying to get John to file a motion to remove the judge because, you know, he was not qualified. He was not, he was biased because he knew the prosecutor. So I think that was an attempt to get John to put a motion into the court. The other thing is after that Ferretta, there was an order that came out, and in that order, the judge referred to John as the defendant and didn't really. The order was kind of, there was nothing real significant about it except that he talked about John as the defendant. So there's a lot of these things that they do that, you know, we don't really notice on the surface because we're so used to seeing that kind of paperwork.
Right, right. And you had very astutely pointed out that I had, Barley, this is interesting too, I had asked the federal defender that they appointed to me to send me a letter, you know, confirming what I said in the case. And Gus noticed that the letter didn't make the observation that I was not a defendant. You know, she circumscribed that. In other words, she ignored it. That was the underlying issue. I mean, that is the underlying issue in all.
Something like that. What I normally do is in most interactions, especially when they're important to me, be that where I've turned up to a council, a court, or anything in that particular way, the first thing I do is, I think one of the ones, it was going on for about half an hour, 40 minutes, but all I wanted to know was just 1, 2, 3 points. That was it. That's all I wanted to hear. The rest was showboating, ho, ho, ho. Oh, boy, is your kid going on holiday? I don't know whether that was, inviting a motion to be thrown out or what. All I saw was it was a blatant attempt for intimidation, but in reality, they are all going to know themselves. They're all from the same society. Logic.
Don't you find it interesting that the same thing I experienced, you know, a couple thousand miles away, if not more here, you did there? I mean, do these people go to the same evil school?
Yeah. I'm sure that it's from rule book, it's rule 1019 that says, oh, yeah, in order to instill fear or something like that, right, these kind of tactics you use, and they just say, oh, great, okay, well, the first thing I do is I start saying, how's your wife, and how's the kids? Yeah, I'll be going holiday. Oh, I'd love to take that case in June. However, I'm going to Switzerland, and I'm going, oh, brilliant, you're going skiing again. Yes, we are. And you listen to this conversation and think, what the hell has this got to do with the case? But they're all kind of little funny tactics. I mean, the other one I've seen once before was, it must have been about a year ago now. It was to do with a foreclosure, and the solicitor, the prosecutor, was getting very aggravated the fact that the defendant, so-called defendant, brought a friend with him. And she said, no, you can't go in. And he said, why can't I go in? And they said, oh, okay. So there was a bit of an argument going on. And then she said, well, why didn't you introduce yourself and put your name into the court? And she goes, well, you just asked me. Yeah, if you asked me a week ago, I would have put it in writing, but actually you asked me the day before. So she probably thought, well, he's obviously just some guy who doesn't know anything and just wanted somebody to hold their hand. But what she did after that, when I was in there watching this, she went up to the usher and she kept going up to her. And I was wondering, what are they talking about? So I got a bit closer and I was listening to her, and all she was talking about was social stuff. But she was doing it in a low enough volume for us to see that she was very friendly with the usher. Why would you do that? And it was just a nonsense conversation, and half the time she didn't even want to hear what she wanted to say. But what was going on there? There was something going on there, and I can only presume that, there was some sort of thing to show that, we're all one and we're all against you. So you're not going to win today. Yeah, I don't know, whichever way you want to look at it. But
there's some kind of training that goes on that inspires that for it to be happening in 2 countries. And this is my...
Yeah. I bet you, like, there's a level as well. So, you know, the stupid one who just passed the degree and, you know, passed the bar exam and just knew and nobody likes, they'll say, you know, don't teach him this stuff. And the one at the top of his game, he's taught all the stuff. Yeah, he's the expensive one in Washington, D.C. He pays, you know, $150,000 per hour for turning up, and he knows everything. But actually what it is he knows the little rules and how to piss people off. That's about it.
Right.
But you just keep sticking with basics, logic. You know, I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but you carry on doing what the hell you like. I'll lodge my claim, and there'll be a civil action waiting for you whenever you're ready, and you can turn up and you can answer over here. Oh, but that's nothing to do with this case. No, but you caused me harm, and wherever there's harm, see you in court.
Now I'm curious
I don't care
on
what you do in your case.
That case that you're working on with that gentleman. What's the prognosis? What do you think's going to evolve? Will they negotiate and try to drop the case?
He rang me for quite a long time, actually. I need to chase him up. I've been a bit snowed under, and I've been busy in my own little private life, to be honest. But yeah, his case is supposed to be heard, I think, August time. It's Queen's Bench case, his court record one, and I think they moved his Crown case back to February of next year.
I see. So they don't let go too easily.
No, but if you think about it, you think, well, August is the first hearing. You may have another hearing or trial before Christmas.
Yeah.
So by February, you would have got a bit of documentation saying guilty or not guilty in his own court.
Right.
Of which that's going to be printed and handed over into that case. Of which you're going to say, okay, now I'm not really stupid, I'll make him guilty in this case.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, just like a little tactic up there playing. But like I say, it's funny, when you hear 40 minutes worth of chitter-chatter, hearing going on, well, actually, there's only 1 or 2 points in there which are actually interesting. Ignore everything they say because it's just showboating, it's, how's everything, oh, uncle, oh, yes, you're okay, yes, how many children did you bomb, you know, just all sorts of crap that you don't really want to hear. So I just switch off to it all. Yeah, you want to talk about skiing? Great, talk about skiing, I don't give a shit. Just wake me up, give me a nudge when you finished, you know, messing around with each other's, you know, penis, whatever you want to do, you just do that. Just wake me up when you're done. And it gets quite interesting. You just start to switch off to a lot of stuff, and then really narrow down to just what you say, if you do say anything, and just what their response is.
But what I'm curious about is something like that. That's a pretty serious thing that they charged him with. So when he put his claim in, his claim must have been pretty serious against them. It would just make sense. So I'm thinking if I was a spineless, gutless prosecutor, like most of these people are, you know, they're real tough guys when they're on the offense, but when they're on the defense, I would think that they'd be more anxious to negotiate and try to.
Sometimes I don't think so, because from what I've seen so far, they'll always have a go. Yeah, because you can always say, you know what, now I'm prepared. Put my hand up. Okay, I'm prepared to settle. You can do that whenever, and in likelihood, most people say, okay, brilliant. Okay, so get your checkbook out, my friend, and let's start talking about it. And so most people would say, yeah, that makes sense. We'll do that. So for them, the public is not prepared to go into their realm of their court cases and say, okay, you know what, I'll have a go at it anyway.
Mm.
But they are, because they say, well, we do this shit all day long. So you know what, I'll have a go. And when it all goes wrong, I'll say, you know what, stop, my client wants to settle.
Okay, that's a good point. So they are willing to take a chance and go into the trial.
Yes, what's it to them? They don't give a shit. If anything, they're just going to hand the bill to somebody else to pay for it.
I see.
I mean, if I think, oh, you know what, I really fancy going not just to Switzerland, that's only a few 100 miles, I fancy going a little bit further next year. Yeah, I fancy going to Russia, maybe some sort of mountain out, the range out there, and go, Himalayas or something. Yeah, it's probably going to cost a lot more. I've got to get some more money in. How do I get overtime in? Okay, more court time. Okay, I'll drag this one out a little bit longer. This case number 13, yeah, I can drag that out a bit more. Yeah, and then before you know it, you've got 10-20% more money than what you had beginning.
Right. But
that's the
if
number
you're
one rule.
suing them in their capacity as a man, you still think they can hand the bill out? I don't think their bonds and their mechanisms for protecting them help them when they go outside the law. In other words, they go outside their role as a government officer. They're acting, because certainly they're not authorized to commit fraud and extortion and all these.
Come on, my friend, you know the score, right? If go stand in your court, right, most people get railroaded. They have no clue what they're doing, and when they do figure it out, they don't put anything in writing, and they never make a claim. So where the hell is that justice going to come? It ain't going to come from them.
Right.
And if you did that day in, day out, screwing people, let's say, one of a better word, that was just your job. I didn't know what I was doing. I just had to prosecute these cases. That's my job. Whatever the excuse is. But in reality, what was going on there? They were just waiting for a man to turn up.
Right.
A man to turn up and challenge them. And guess what? Day in and day out, there was nobody there. There was just people turning up saying, yeah, I'm a punching bag. Punch me. Okay.
So that tells me that the letter writing phase is really important.
Oh, yeah. You put everything in writing. If you think about it, you go in a retail shop, so you have your Home Depot, right? You buy something, and you take it back, and you have a little moan about it at the desk, returns desk, and say, I bought this product, it was rubbish, as soon as I pressed the start button, it blew up in a million pieces. What the hell is this? And then the woman's just going to say, well, yeah, yawn, wait for you to stop talking and say, brilliant. Okay, well, all I can do is give you a refund. So you think, okay, so in a week's time, if I did the same thing and I come back and just say, hi, I just want a full refund. Yeah, okay, fine. Here's your full refund. You think, well, did anything happen out there? No. Because nobody responds to just gassing and talking.
Right.
Yeah? Sometimes you do if you get a bit loud and a bit vocal, but that's just not me. Yeah? I don't really want to go in there and cause a scene. That's just not my way. But I can write letters all day long. And when I write letters, things happen because you just write it to a man. It's just simple rules. You write it to a man, you define who you are, you define who they are. This is the basis for every court case that I've ever seen. Yeah?
Right.
They define you as you, but as a fiction. I'll define myself as this, and also I'll define you as an end user, and as an end user I have jurisdiction over you in this licensing capacity, and and before you're drawn to this Alice in Wonderland, and you forget to ask the most obvious question, shit, what did you say again? Who the hell was defending again?
Right.
Which Alice in Wonderland am I in? And who are you? And why am I? Okay, end all this bullshit acting. I'm just a man.
It's so true what you just said. It's so true. I remember the night Gus was on the phone with me, and Karl and him Karl was working on his car, and he was telling me what to put in my letter. And I remember it was like it was the weirdest feeling. It was like you felt like you got run over by a train without any pain. When he gave me these questions, he said to ask, "Am I the defendant?" And all these, I've been fighting them for 12 years, and all was statutory, complex, complicated. I mean, really difficult stuff. So my mind wasn't used to thinking so straightforward and simple. But man, I'll tell you, I appreciated it when I heard it. So he said, you just ask, am I the defendant? That's question one. Question two, am I the plaintiff? I think question three was, is this your case? And question four is this my case? That's it. I sent that letter off. Of course, they didn't answer it.
That's why I say, you see what I mean? When people say, well, there's got to be more and there has to be a lot more. No, it's just the basic shit.
Right.
Don't come off the basic shit. You just go back there and just ask really simple stuff. Because I think there was one case I saw the week before, where it was to do with this internet UK column stuff, and this government department wrote to them and said, we define you as an editor, and we define you as a TV station, and we define you as just, it was almost a joke. The first page was just definitions. And then they got into the nitty-gritty, and you just think, well, hang on, this definitions is really important. Well, they've just called me, I don't know, the anchor. And for some reason, they must, why have they mentioned this anchor? But they've not, they said, from now on, your name's Bob Smith, but you're also an anchor, an inverted commas, saying we've defined you as anchor from now on. So later on, they literally just start saying, well, as an anchor, you must do this, and you must do that, and da-da-da-da. So forget about the 50 pages that followed that. The first question you ask is, well, who the hell's an anchor? Is that something to do with shipping? Sorry, I've misunderstood what you're talking about. Well, come on, don't be stupid. You work in the media, you know what an anchor is. I went, yeah, but I just don't know what in context that you're coming from. Yeah? What the hell are you talking about? Who the hell are you again? Let's start all over again. Let me reintroduce myself. This is me, this is you. Well, oh, okay, so that's you. So where the hell are you coming from again?
Right.
Really, you just define the very basic things. Your answers are there.